Hello, this is World University and Schools monthly or live Hangout on air on Monday, March 18th, 2019. And I'm Scott McLeod. And as we wait for people to potentially join this 10-person participatory live open Google Hangout on air in group video, I'd just like to share some news and updates about World University and School, as well as mention an outline of the minutes from World University and School's open monthly business meeting, which meets on the third Saturday. So 2 days ago, March 16th, 2019, at 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time, San Francisco Bay Area time. If you're interested in joining either the third Saturday monthly business meeting, it's contact info@worlduniversityandschool.org. Or if you're interested in joining the live Hangouts on air on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time in Google Group Video Hangouts, please join the Hangout just by clicking on, I think, the join button. I think it's possible to join from even the live stream that's happening. I haven't seen that angle on it recently, so I'm pretty sure that's the case. One fascinating recent development that World University and School's longevity wiki subject page, which I'll post below, seeks to focus on in an ongoing way, is recent updates from MIT and Harvard researchers on reversing aging. So potentially, conceivably, immortality due to gene editing is on the horizon. And recently, in a panel with George Church and Ed Boyden and Patty Mays and Joe Paradiso and David Sinclair and other MIT and Harvard researchers, they discussed some of possibly how this will work, how reversing aging due to gene editing might work. Joey Ito, in a Wired article, I think last October 2018, also looked at some of these questions of possibly immortality and the responsibilities related to that. So this is exciting news, and World University and School would not only like to facilitate open teaching and learning about this on our longevity wiki subject page, but also in a realistic virtual earth, thinking Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Maps, Google Earth, Google Brain, Google Translate, with TensorFlow, the machine learning software, but also at the cellular and atomic levels, where potentially we could add something like CRISPR-Cas9 and other CRISPR-Cas gene editing technologies into Google Street View to further explore some of these questions of how reverse engineering or reversing aging would work through gene editing, gene engineering. And potentially the students who matriculate at World University and School for free to students degrees will also learn much about genomics and gene editing in many languages and in many countries. There's probably an amazing amount of work to do yet in understanding genetics and gene editing in so many ways, but particularly with reversing aging, that potentially world university and school students, as well as so many other universities, faculty and students will be focusing on these questions. So that's one bit of news. And then in terms of monthly business meeting, in the manner of Friends Quakers, third Saturdays of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific time, open. Please email info@World University and School. We talked a fair amount about continuing the accreditation process, beginning with licensing with the state of California's Bureau of Private Postsecondary Education, BPPE. And our mission is already up on World University and School's foundation page, which I can post below this video as well. But further objectives include we're seeking to be free to students in terms of online degrees. And the BPPE workshop on February 20th suggested that they would license 2 degrees. So World University and School is thinking in terms of bachelor's and PhD degrees, first in English. So that would be, those would both be minutes in the upcoming minutes that I'll email out to World University and School's email list. If you'd like to be on this email list, email info@World University and School. So free online distance education, 2 degrees, bachelor and PhD. And as we fill out the licensing application, we're also focusing on English. There were other attendees of the BPPE workshop who are working in multiple languages, but we're going to license with the BPPE in English per the BPPE's guidance. But World University and School is seeking to be in 200 countries, official and main languages, for free to students degrees, but also 7,111 languages, living languages. And another minute from this past Saturday would be we would seek with machine translation and based on the MIT OpenCourseWare in 5 languages and Wikipedia in 300 languages to grow the number of offered degrees, the degrees we offer in all living languages, or nearly all of them. So 7,111 living languages less 300 languages in Wikipedia is 6,800 languages or so, I think, to go. And potentially machine learning, machine translation will facilitate some of this so that the number of degrees we're planning to offer is expanded from beyond 200 countries to 7,000 approximately languages. For a long time, we've sought to offer online degrees, 5 online degrees in English and in the other 200 countries, official or main languages. These degrees include bachelor, PhD, which we'll accredit with BPPE, and also law and medicine, online medical degrees, defining medicine anew, potentially Project Baseline, Stanford, Duke, Google's project Into a Hospital, and Project ECHO, specialists, MD specialists to rural populations in group video with a mentoring aspect, potentially conceptually into medical schools, will be separate accreditation licensing processes, will involve separate licensing and crediting possibilities, and also international baccalaureate high school degrees based on MIT OpenCourseWare High School. So the 5 degrees we're seeking to offer in all 200 countries' official languages are MD, law, PhD, bachelor's, and IB. And now, as of this past monthly business meeting, we are seeking to offer degrees in all 7,000 languages. Those degrees still to be determined and talked about and planned for. All of this will take form on an emerging information technology platform, something like WUaS Mirrorhazen MediaWiki as a front end, with Wikidata, Wikibase, and Wikipedia's 300 languages, structured knowledge data as a back end, and for certain in Google Education, which opens the way to the Google platform, including Google Translate and TensorFlow machine learning. So in the workshop with California's Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, they were fine with Google for Education. That was something they would welcome, I think. So those are about 2 of the first minutes from monthly business meeting on Saturday. And a 3rd minute would have to do with getting hardware into students' hands for home robotics, home engineering degrees, and potentially using the Scratch 3 drag and drop programming language out of MIT Media Lab and Harvard Graduate School of Education with Scratch's multiple language extension add-on, Scratch 3's multiple language extension add-on. And that hardware would include microbit circuit boards, which are also little mini computers that you can explore in a lot of different ways, potentially turn a microbit into a first course, maybe a couple of courses, and also Lego robotics, Mindstorm's EV3 for starting place, and for earlier students, we do 2.0 with their corresponding block programming languages that come with the Lego robotics education kits. But these Lego robotics also work with the Scratch 3 drag and drop programming language. So that's another minute. And financial reports, World University and School is seeking to claim a National Science Foundation Award, which will help pay the fees for the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education licensing application process with the state of California. So that's a 4th minute from business meeting on Saturday. And a 5th minute has to do with World University and School and planning for all 7,000 languages for teachers and learning for people in 7,111 languages to plan conceptually for all people as learners and teachers on the planet, 7.5 billion people now, potentially 10 or 11 billion people in possibly 100 years. So code for those, and for, in particular, potentially experiments with a universal basic income. So the experiments would potentially help, as a beginning, target the poorest people, therefore be progressive, and might dovetail with a planning for a single cryptocurrency from California, but potentially able to be backed by central banks from some portion of the 200 countries in the world. So maybe the 19 countries, nation states out of 28 countries that are part of the European Union and use the euro would be able to help with universal basic income experiments in their country to those 19, to poorest people in those 19 countries. And California's Stockton experiment would also facilitate this. So there'd be a link between the state, say in this case, the state of California, and the bank cards they're giving to Stockton, California residents in this Stockton, California universal basic income experiment, which would be something that World University and School could both study as research and help facilitate and grow into some portion of all 200 countries, and as research experiments. Perhaps ethnographers, anthropologists, and linguists could study groups of people in all 200 countries, 7,000 languages, who received a universal basic income as an experiment over 18 months. Stockton, California residents are receiving $500 a month on something like bank cards. And possibly this bank card cash transfer, which is not paper cash transfer, could be developed into a single cryptocurrency. It might even be something that would be in trinary or ternary, like the IOTA cryptocurrency, which might address security and cryptographic problems that all the myriad of cryptocurrencies that have been issued in ICOs, international coin offerings, aren't cryptographically similar. So they're all in binary, which is what much of the internet runs on, ones and zeros. A ternary cryptocurrency like IOTA, potentially, this is from Neha Naryala's recent talk at the MIT Bitcoin Expo, would possibly begin to address some of the cryptographic challenges. It sounded like they could be thinking of exploring a digital currency initiative over a 10-year horizon. There's a lot of information technology challenges to overcome, but hopefully a universal basic income and something like building out of this Stockton, California UBI experiment, which has a relationship with Sacramento and the state of California, could be a basis. So that's yet another minute. And with that, since it looks like no one has joined us, I think we'll close for today. If you have questions, info@worlduniversityandschool.org. Posting also to Twitter at WORLDUNIVANDSCH and youtube.com/similar, WORLDUNIVANDSCH, and info@World University and School if you have questions or ideas. Planning to be online next Monday as well in March. And bye for now. This is World University and School's live Hangout on Air. I'm Scott McLeod, worlduniversityandschool.org. Thank you, and until next time.